This will be the last time Pakistan will host any major tournament. The stadium is still not ready. Firstly, I don't consider Virat's fans as fans only.
Higher budgets for personal PRs in India for each and every player compared to how much money would have been allocated by the Pakistan Cricket Board for the whole Champions Trophy.
So, hello and welcome everyone to the third podcast on this channel. Today we have a lot of cricketing stuff going around this week. So, let's, without wasting any time, just get on with it. So, our first point of discussion for today's podcast is about the CT preparations, that is the Champions Trophy preparations in Pakistan, in our neighboring country. So, Pakistan has put out the tickets on sale for the matches in Pakistan. We will take into consideration only the first match, which is Pakistan versus New Zealand for the stats which we're going to discuss on this. So the ticket sales have been released by the PCB, and the ticket prices, so to say, as follows. The general ticket is $3, that is 1,000 Pakistan rupees. First class ticket is $5, which is 1,500 Pakistan rupees, and the premium class ticket is $25, which is 7,000 Pakistan rupees. If we compare this to the current India England ODI series, the cheapest ticket for the India England ODI series is $17, which is around 1,600 Indian rupees, which is 383 times that of the CT ticket price in Pakistan. Assuming this is a move to get more audience into the stadium, yes, because Pakistan has to consider the economy and purchasing power of the citizens in the country, so they want more audience to come into the stadiums and watch the game. Because it is after 30 years that Pakistan is hosting an ICC event. They could have lost this as well, but they fought to the last breath with India and BCCI to give them the hybrid model hosting rights. But doesn't seem like they have been doing any justice with that so far, because we have seen many visuals on social media that the preparations for the grounds and the renovation of the stadiums has not been completed yet. The ticket price for the Dubai matches, where India is involved, has not been put on sale as yet. So I assume that ICC will try to make up with those ticket prices to make this event a success, because from the last two events, ICC hasn't been doing great with the management of the events. If you consider it, the last T20I World Cup, which was held in America and West Indies, there were a lot of loopholes. Considering the pitch, the conditions, the ground stuff, and so on, in Florida and New York, ICC did come in under a lot of scrutiny. But is this tournament played for charity or for the sake of Pakistan hosting the event? I think I don't understand this move by ICC to give the hosting rights to Pakistan. I would like to you guys to have your opinions on this. Jinash, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, this will be the last time Pakistan will host any major tournament, any major ICC tournament in their country, apart from their flagship event, which they have, which they call PSL,
PSL.
Pakistan Super League, apparently. So that's the that's the only tournament they'll be hosting. Probably they'll host some home matches, whatever England go for, like for the Test series or something. So that's the only things which they are going to host. None of the ICC major events. I mean, the ticket prices is something like, yes, I mean, it's astonishingly low compared to the standards which we have in India as well, the kind of ticket prices we had. But you have to consider their economy as well, like 2,000 rupees, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, according to them, it's high. I mean, it's a high ticket price, but I'm really not sure how is it going to be beneficial to the ICC. They have already done loss during the 2024 T20 World Cup as well. Again, the tournament has is now in Pakistan as well as Dubai. So probably they might recover the losses from Dubai matches, because India is playing all their matches in Dubai, so they would recover the the losses. But anyway, like, the stadium is still not ready. They were supposed to hand over the stadium on the, I think it was in the month of December 1st, but then it got extended to the 15th of January, and then it got extended to the 22nd of January. Now it has been extended. It was supposed to be handed over today. It is not yet handed over. So now it has moved to the 7th of January. So I'm really not sure how are they going to. I mean, I have seen some photos where the VIP box, what they're calling, is still not made. is still like under construction. So I'm really not sure how they are going to pull this off. And I'm not sure why ICC cannot move the whole tournament to Dubai itself, like because they have got enough reasons to pull out the tournament and move it to Dubai. So
Mm.
really not sure what's the problem, but this would be, I mean, this is the last time I think Pakistan will really host any tournaments.
Yeah, Weber, what do you think about this?
Similar opinion to that of Jinanj. Um, may not be the last time they are hosting a foreign team, but a large scale event like this, probably the last time, because it's a responsibility of not just the you know the cricket board, but also the government to ensure that things happen the right way, and
Mm.
somebody's got to take some responsibility. It's like ICC handed it to a bunch of tribes, and they're trying to host something.
Mm.
That's how it actually looks like. The
Mm.
stadium's not done, nothing's completed. Apparently, they've removed some of the seats from pre-existing grounds and moved them to Lahore. Um, all sorts of news has been spreading.
Mm.
They even stop media from entering the stadiums and covering what's going on. So probably since the stadiums are not yet finished, they want to fill up as many seats as possible so that it looks like it's crowded on the during the live stream. But unfortunately, the stadium's not yet done. It's I don't know how the numbers would work out, because it's not just filling the stadium and getting people to watch.
Mm.
There is a safety factor which is in play always at Pakistan.
Mm.
Multiple teams have in the past been affected by the security arrangements in Pakistan, and that's another major concern. If you're going to let all the people in at you know subpar prices, then there's going to be a huge security concern, which I don't know if ICC has been considering, and which is also one of the reasons why India is not playing in Pakistan. So when such factors are at play, I don't understand why this has been given, the access. Like Pakistan have been given the right to host a tournament. All that apart, even a few months ago, security-wise, they had to close down entire Islamabad from all sides. The only side that was open was the border towards India. So, with such security risks, ICC should have reconsidered. Another fact is it's really hard for ICC to host a tournament somewhere in India or elsewhere in the Middle East, other than Dubai, or other than the UAE, because other countries have stopped issuing visas for people of Pakistani origin or Pakistanis. So that's another concern.
Mm.
So when all of these are at play, might as well not host it in Pakistan and keep it elsewhere. Yeah, unfortunately, we have to play in Pakistan. We'll see how it goes out. Hope all teams finish the tournament in one piece.
Mm.
That's the main concern. So there is construction could fail, buildings might fall, that might kill people. Thing is, there could be some guy with explosives or any other unnecessary weapons inside the ground.
Mm.
So we never know what's going to happen. And there's also going to be people supporting Imran Khan. That's going to be there, and it's something I'm expecting. Similar to stuff that happens when people come to England to play big tournaments, especially when India comes.
Yep.
So similar things are going to be at play. It's going to be exciting to see what happens.
Mm.
Maybe the most entertaining ICC tournament
Yeah.
on telecasted on TV.
And dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
there were,
go on,
sorry,
James.
I mean, you remember that there were some memes as well, like, the construction is going around and then they
Mm.
are doing the toss in the middle of the ground. So those kind of things,
Exactly.
I'm
That was
expecting.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and similar to that reel, wherein there's this like somewhere in Africa, it's a guy who says the building's going to get ready tomorrow. This will be
Yeah.
done tomorrow. That's how it is. The whole thing is.
Yeah. It may sound funny, but these things have happened in Pakistan, and it's not that we are having baseless allegations or talking baseless things here, because things have happened when you consider Pakistan in the mix of it. And I hope the ICC event just finishes in peace, and we have a winner after all. But then another question I would like to raise is ICC is considering to get most of the revenue from the Dubai matches where India is playing. They would hope India would end up in the semi-finals and the finals so that they can get more and more of the revenue for this tournament to fill the gaps from the Pakistan matches and the revenue from the Pakistan matches, because from the ticketing prices, the Pakistan is not even coming close to they spent renovating their stadiums. So the most of tournaments revenue is coming from the Dubai matches. Does this give BCCI or the Indian cricket team an added advantage going forward in other ICC tournaments, seeing that the India matches do most of the heavy lifting in terms of financial aspects? So as to say, in the ICC tournaments, as we saw, the ticket prices in the New York matches in the T20I World Cup were the highest in terms of revenue as compared to the other matches in New York or in West Indies. And in return, India knew that where their playing locations is going to be. That's what other teams were talking about. That India has that upper hand. Do you think this is the result of the financial heavy lifting that India or BCCI does in that fact, Jinaj?
Yeah, I mean, definitely India, like cricket as a whole is a geopolitical asset for India, and rightly so, because the amount of money, the amount of viewership, the broadcasting deals which ICC gets its money from, it's mainly based on the fact of India playing those tournaments. India brings in a lot more viewership as well, money as well. I mean, and it becomes much more exciting as well. So, yeah, I mean, India does have an added advantage. As I
Mm.
told, it's a geopolitical asset as well for India. And yeah, that's all.
Vaibhav?
So, looking at things from the perspective of India, I'm sure that there's much more higher budgets for personal PRs in India for each and every player compared to how much money would have been allocated by the Pakistan Cricket Board for the whole Champions Trophy.
Mm.
So when that's the stature of each and every player in the team, then the team as a whole is something humongous compared to other tournaments themselves,
Mm.
international tournaments. The amount of money that goes into IPL is really huge, and that's something which started pulling. Like that's when most of the Indians today
Mm.
were pulled into cricket, and that has uh, gone around. It's created waves around the world, and IPL has become a global cricketing tournament. So when India can do that with the domestic league, then on the international level, it's going to be something different. And not just that, there's so many Indians outside of India as well, and everybody wants to watch good cricket, um, and that's something which the Indian team has always tried to deliver, especially in the limited over formats. And there's enough to pull a lot of crowd on the Indian side, irrespective of whether it's a good game or a bad game, because you've got some of the best audience and you've got the best critics in the world of cricket and people that regularly follow cricket, unlike what's happened in the West, where cricket has been, the higher class or upper class game always. So that's what makes India stand apart, and that has definitely paid off and is going to pay off again in this tournament.
Yeah.
One last thing I just wanted to add.
Mm.
Even in the recent in the T20 World Cup which we saw, like I've seen a lot of Pakistani YouTubers coming out and saying, like it's not only India which brings in the money, it's basically it's the India-Pakistan match which brings the money because
Mm.
of the kind of the rivalry which both of these teams have. Going purely on stats, on the viewership, if you see, India Pakistan match was like the third highest viewership if you compare it with India. Like any team playing against India, if you see Pakistan, the number of people who watched it was just 36 million. And if you compare that the same thing with Australia, when India and Australia were playing the T20 World Cup, the match the viewership was around 59 million. So you can see, like, I mean, in the Indian public, the diaspora, as a whole has also gone beyond Pakistan team. Like we no longer wait for, that, oh, we have got a match with Pakistan. It already happens only during the ICC tournaments, and we have been winning 20 years now, around
Yeah.
20 years. So we have been winning in the ICC tournaments against Pakistan. So like even to compare
I think
Pakistan on
in
par
all
with
the
India,
ICC tournaments, I think India has just lost twice to Pakistan.
just lost
2021 and
twice
2017. Not
championship.
championship.
So I mean Pakistan, I mean, also should now know that where they sit, like they are not equals at all. Like anywhere they go, I mean, they are nowhere equals.
Mm.
I mean, to be honest, especially the Indian public doesn't even bother if it's India-Pakistan match, because we know that we are going to win. Like in T20, they had a slight edge above us because
Mm.
shorter format.
Mm.
But in ODI, like after the 2017, I don't think they have done anything like, so good. Like they were going to win also. It was never like, even in the matches, like they were never going to win. It was almost one-sided match.
So, as Weber mentioned about the high budgets of the player PRs we have in India, there's some PR game going on currently as well, as we are going to talk about Virat Kohli. But before that, we are going to talk about Himanshu Sangwan, the ticket collector from Najafgarh, who picked up Virat Kohli's wicket in that single innings he played against Railways, and he got him out at six, and the crowd was going berserk over it. And they took on the social media, and all the Himanshu Sangwans in the world, all their Instagram IDs, everyone was abused that why did he pick up the wicket, and how dare does he celebrate that wicket. That was insane, because the player has come to the domestic circuit after 10 years, after failing almost 7 years in the game. And this 29-year-old young lad wants to make a name for himself, and he picks up his wicket, and the social media goes bonkers about him. Not in the good way, but in the bad way, that the PR game's coming up and everyone is just saying whatever they want to this player. What do you think about that? That's the sad state of social media today, Weber.
So Himanshu Sangwan, if you look at his history,
Mm,
he started off playing Vijay Hazare for Delhi. He
mm,
represented Delhi in under 19, and he was working as a ticket collector, and that's how he made his way into the railways team.
yeah.
So, a person from such a background picking up the wicket of India's most important player, most valuable player,
Mm,
I feel that's an achievement in itself, and I don't see why he shouldn't celebrate.
mm,
It should actually be like Virat Kohli should question himself as to what has he achieved for all the fandom he's got, because I don't remember him, you know, winning many big series. Most of them were home series, very few outside of India. And even those outside of India, they did lose a few games. And be it any big ICC tournaments, they couldn't win the trophies. Be it his own team, which he values more than India in some cases, RCB, they haven't been doing anything at all. And in some cases, he's been the major contributing factor for their loss. So when such things have happened, I don't understand why the general public, his PR team, and he himself, try to portray a picture of blaming others. It's purely skill, and when a person like Himanshu Sangwan, who hasn't had international exposure, he's a player who plays in the domestic tournaments in a team like Railways, which even stalwarts of Indian cricket have defeated in the most horrific way. When that team can easily pick up an MVP player's wicket in a matter of a few minutes, then I don't see why Virat Kohli should be given the opportunity over a domestic player on the international side. If he so even looking at his history over the last few years, his average has been very poor. He's not been playing well, so might as well pick up other local domestic players and make them play the side.
mm,
That's my whole point of view with this Himanshu Sangwan case.
yeah.
And I feel that there's nothing wrong in him celebrating. It's the social media and elements that are driven by uh, driven for money,
Yeah.
they are the ones who are doing this.
Yeah. As we talk about Virat Kohli, we will come to him. But before that, I'll take your views on this, Jinanj, because it's fine when Virat Kohli picks up, or some other person in the world picks up a wicket and Virat Kohli celebrates like he has done something special there. But it's not fine for the bowler who has picked up the wicket. He cannot celebrate. So that's bizarre for me. What do you think about it?
Coming to the fans abusing. Firstly, I don't consider Virat's fans as fans only. They are as lowly technically sound as Virat Kohli is. Like in his batting, we can see like he only has those, like you were telling yesterday, he only plays those effort shots. That's the reason he's the best. And through your age, that effort, the reflexes do not work. So yeah, that way. We could see changes with Sachin Tendulkar at the same age, like how Sachin Tendulkar used to perform if we compare the same thing with Virat Kohli.
Mm,
Virat Kohli is nowhere near. Like I don't know why, like the question also comes up saying that that Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar just because he crossed like 50 centuries
mm,
and Sachin Tendulkar had 49, it doesn't matter. Like these things, you have to know that what kind of a bowler also you're facing, but we'll come to that later.
mm,
Now with with the fans, like I saw them like literally like I was watching the match on Sports 18,
mm,
uh, where the match was broadcasted. So I was
mm,
watching the match and I saw that once Virat Kohli went, he was given out.
mm.
The whole stadium in a matter of 20 minutes, like there were like 12,000 people, it reduced to like 1,000 people straight away, like in a matter
Not
of
even
20,
that,
20,
even lesser. Yeah.
even lesser than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like literally like everyone went off. So it shows the intellectual level of the fans as well.
Mm,
Like they are not, like if you compare it with fans with a Wankhede fan, like a Mumbai fan, or like fans in Chepauk, we
mm,
have often heard like when even though an opposition team hits a good shot, Chepauk Stadium, I mean they applaud for that shot as well, even when the opposition team is playing. In Delhi, on the other hand, the home fans were waiting for the batsman to go out so that Virat Kohli comes in.
Yashdul, yes.
Yeah, they were waiting, and Yashdul was really playing well.
Yeah.
He was playing. I mean,
And is his wicket was also controversial. Was it out or not?
yeah,
But yep.
that's what. So, I mean, BCA has got so much money, they should keep like DRS and Ranji also. But anyway, but
Mm,
so that's the thing. Like, you can understand the intellectual level of the fan. Like, they are so fake. You
mm,
can, I mean, you cannot really compare. Like, I'm not sure. Like because the fans are such. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I mean, I really felt bad watching that. Like they were celebrating Yash Dul got out.
mm,
They started abusing Himanshu Sangwan just because he took a wicket,
mm.
and that's the sad state of affairs. To be honest, with
Yep.
Delhi cricket, not Indian cricket. With
Mm,
Delhi cricket, it's not the same with Mumbai cricket. In Mumbai cricket, even after Rohit Sharma made 3 runs, he was the first one to go get out because he was the opener.
mm,
The Mumbai fans stayed back till the end, till the match got over, and they were cheering for the other team as well. They came for Rohit Sharma, no doubt.
mm,
Everyone came for Rohit Sharma. How much ever the space was, people came
mm,
for Rohit Sharma. But people stayed back until the match got over, and that is what you call like proper cricket fans.
mm,
That's why I never liked the final also going to Narendra Modi Stadium. I wanted it to stay in Wankhede because even the Indian cricket team came to celebrate at Wankhede after the T20 World Cup because that is the home of like Indian cricket, I would say.
mm,
Like how this Saurav Ganguly once said, Wankhede is our home of cricket. So
mm.
that way. So to Andrew Flintoff, I think, or to one for I think Andrew Flintoff had removed his t-shirt, right? In
Mm-hmm.
Wankhede, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
So for that. So yeah, that's the thing. Delhi fans are not fans. They just like one more thing I saw that there was one social media guy, I don't want to name him,
Mm,
but he is saying that Ranji is blessed.
mm,
Like what Ranji is blessed? Ranji has been when Virat Kohli was not born also.
yep.
Since then, Ranji has been. Like even I saw Ashwin calling it out on
Mm,
his YouTube channel. So even he told that what like people are coming out and saying Ranji is blessed, this, that. I mean, it's really like you're spoiling Virat Kohli's name in this all of
mm.
this thing. You're spoiling. He's already his name is spoiled. You're spoiling it more.
So yeah, talking about Virat Kohli. So there was a certain term called Fab Four since 7 years in cricket now. And I'll read out some stats. You all can decide for yourselves why we have been going around Virat Kohli and how he can be compared to other cricketers in the world. So these stats are for 2014 to 2019. Joe Root's average in Test cricket was 47.9. Kane Williamson's average was 52.9. Steve Smith average was 61.3, and Virat Kohli's average was 54. And the centuries for Root until 2019 was 17. Kane Williamson was 23. Steve Smith was 26. And Virat Kohli was 27. And come after that, 7 years from there, we are in 2025. And the averages are according to this: Joe Root is 51, Kane Williamson is 59, Steve Smith is 56, and Virat Kohli is 47. And the centuries tally for Virat Kohli has just increased by three, and he's currently at 30 centuries. The centuries tally for Steve Smith has increased by nine centuries, and he's currently at 35 centuries. The century tally for Kane Williamson has grown by 10, and he's currently has 33 centuries. And Joe Root, as we can see, has doubled, almost more than doubled his century tally. He was at 17 in 2019. He's at 36 now, and not to forget that he's close to 13,000 international runs in Test cricket. So Virat Kohli is still struggling to even cross the 10,000 mark, as to say. So do you think the Fab Four is still justified, or do you think that needs to be renamed or no, named as Thrilling Three, maybe? What do you think, Jinansh?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, with all, like, I wanted Virat Kohli to perform much better, at least in the Fab Four thing.
Mm,
But he has certainly not been up to the mark, especially from the last 5 years. His place, to be honest, I mean, we are talking from now that his place is not justified in the team, but I have been looking at his performance from last 5 years
mm,
and seeing players like Rahane, Pujara being dropped. I really feel like even Virat Kohli's place was not justified in the team. Like,
mm,
he really doesn't make it to to the Indian cricket team, leave alone Fab Four, to be honest. Like, such, I mean, only after that era, I mean, he's constantly be compared to a Sachin Tendulkar or something of that sort, but he has not even, I mean, his average has dipped consider I mean, has been so low. I mean, if you consider the last 5 years, so it has dipped, I mean, quite less. And probably, like, I have seen it somewhere that he was averaging around 35, 36 in the last 5 years. Last
mm,
4 years, he's averaging much below. But
mm,
last 5 years, if I add one more year at the
mm,
back, then we compare it with last 5 years, then he's averaging still like 36, 37 only. So a
mm,
player of his stature, like, being compared with Sachin Tendulkar. I really don't. It doesn't justify. Like, he shouldn't. I mean, Sachin Tendulkar is not comparable at all.
mm,
I mean, Kohli fans should understand that once. He's
mm,
not at all comparable, and he doesn't even merit a place in the Fab Four. Now, coming to the 10,000 runs mark, he probably might cross Kane Williamson because the difference is, I think, just 43 runs. I mean, 46 runs.
yeah, 46.
Kohli is 9230 and he's 9276.
7-6, yes.
Yeah. So it's just 46 odd runs difference. So he might cross that. He might. But again, because Williamson also has got a
But he has
casual
an average
comeback.
of 59 as of now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kane
So
Williamson.
again, I mean, if we compare with the averages as well, so I mean, Kohli really, like, he would be at the below, it's only like at the third or the fourth position only. He won't be at a level of a Joe Root or at a level of a Steven Smith, for that matter. He has been given a very long rope. You would have seen other players. I mean, I would just give you an example. If Rohit Sharma would have played in his desired position of an opening slot, you would have seen, with the kind of form Rohit Sharma has had in this last, from 2019 onwards, like, he has been your high scorer consistently, even crossing an average, like Murli Vijay when he retired being an opening batsman after he had a subpar average. But Rohit Sharma, if in this short time, the way he has scored runs and runs. Only this last 6 months since Bangladesh, he has not been scoring runs.
Mm,
And we don't know whether he'll be in the England series, but he has not been scoring runs. But before that, he has been your top batter.
mm,
Even Shubman Gill came later on, but even when KL Rahul was there, he was your top batter, even when compared with a KL Rahul. If
mm.
KL Rahul would have been a top batter, we could have seen his averages being better. But he's also averaging, I think, 32, 30 only. Yeah, so if Rohit Sharma would have been given the same opportunities what a Virat Kohli got, Kohli was constantly batting at the number 4, number 5 slot only, even when stalwarts like Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman were all playing at that time as well. So Kohli was playing in that slot. So Kohli has got enough opportunities. He should not be given a longer rope, but comparing his stats as well, he doesn't stand anywhere next to a Joe Root, Steven Smith, or even like Sachin Tendulkar as well, obviously.
So yeah, you make some valid points why he's been so highly rated or overrated as I used earlier. Weber, what do you think about the Fab Four discussion?
Continuing where Jinansh left off, it's not any simple rope that he's been given. He's been given those one of those steel ropes that they use for the suspension bridges, because it's been there so long. In spite of him playing and not performing in multiple games, he's still been given the opportunity. I'm sure number three, number four slots, there are enough players in India who can fill the slots, or you can even develop somebody in that particular format for that particular slot and make them play much better than a Virat Kohli who's going to retire in maybe 2 to 5 years. So I don't know why BCCI hasn't done that, or for that matter, any of the people in the leadership roles haven't taken the initiative. And what, like personally, what I feel is there is a clear lack of guidance for Virat Kohli, because after a person like MS Dhoni left the side, and when Virat Kohli took over captaincy from him, that's where his form started going bad. Yes, he
Mm,
was doing well in the limited overs side, but on the test side, his contribution has been very average, to
mm,
be honest. And after 2020, the question was, why is he playing?
mm,
That was what was going on in most people, except for his fans. So I still don't understand why he's been picked in multiple tournaments for multiple games, given his poor form, especially in tests. He's been a good T20 player. He's been good in the limited overs format, definitely. But his test or that sort of a format his go to game? Definitely not,
mm,
at least from my perspective, because that requires a lot of patience, the test format, and it needs presence of mind, because the ball is not unlike what happens in white ball cricket. It's a much more different game, and you've got to have the right sort of mindset to play that sort of game. You can't play a T20 in a test match, and that needs to change, and it's not advisable to bring a T20 player, make him play a test game. Players like Ajinkya Rahane and Chateshwar Pujara were the go-to players in that particular slot, and for some reason they've been dropped. Other players were tried maybe a game or two, and since they didn't perform those 1 or 2 games, they've been dropped. But as for Virat Kohli, he's been not performing for over 10 games, and nobody's got any questions. Is that how the BCCI wants people to look at the Indian team? Is that what you know his fans want? Definitely not. So if his fans don't want that, if BCCI doesn't want that, then the question comes to, is he a bad player? Which I feel could be the answer. So is it time for him to hang his boots? Probably it's approaching fast, and it's time for him to act. If he doesn't act now, change his ways, then you might as well call it the end of his career.
If Virat Kohli wants a dream farewell, like a Sachin Tendulkar got or some other players get, he needs to take actions on that. Otherwise,
He
it is
can do
going to
one
be,
thing.
yep.
He can do one thing. He can play against Zimbabwe, his last match, test
Or Bangladesh for that matter.
in Harare.
Okay. I mean, he would like to end the career maybe in England, his home country. Who knows? So
Yeah, so he
so
can play county, like he can do anything, like, but or as he can play, or as Nitish Kumar Reddy comes and he plays much lower down the order, probably after a Bumrah or someone, because then the ball will also be old, so he won't nick it also.
interestingly, I was checking the stats for the Pune game yesterday, and I saw a game where India were playing against Sri Lanka, and Virat Kohli was batting at number 8 in that match against Sri Lanka.
Was he?
And yeah, and I was really surprised, like which game is this? Why don't I remember this one? But yeah, he did bat at number 8 for that matter. I think they were experimenting
He
something or
might be,
some.
no, he
Yeah, yeah,
might be injured or something, so he might have come later
probably.
on.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was so
Waiting,
surprised.
waiting for his chili paneer or something.
But the match was in Pune, no, so you get more good missile there and not chili paneer. So yeah, I don't know. But so our next talking point is the fifth and the final T20I between India and England in Mumbai. It's going to be a dead rubber. The results doesn't affect much. The series has already been sealed by India. But will India see this one as something for the preparation of the T20 setup more, or will they just want to win it and no changes in the squad? What do you think about it, Jinaj?
Yeah, I mean, I would really want like to just go off one spinner and try Shami and Arshdeep
Mm,
together in that game, like since you have already won the series. So like I just would want to see more of Shami in one game at least,
mm,
so that at least we as fans can get some confidence that if Shami is really going to is really going to play like, or he's going to really play well.
mm,
But having said that, even if Shami doesn't bowl really well, I really think Harshit Rana has got it in him. Like
mm,
the way he bowled. I'm not sure whether he was told about it just minutes before or if it was a pre-planned thing, we don't know. But
mm.
irrespective, like
If
he
if it
bowled
was a
really well.
pre-planned thing, I think Jamie Overton played the part because he hit Shivam Dube
Yeah,
on his head.
yeah. So that's what. So it does. We don't know so that much, but anyway, like apart from that, I'm really happy with Harshit Rana as well.
Mm,
The way he's bowling as well, without a Bumrah, without a Shami, it would have certainly been tough. But yeah, he's okay. He's good. We can get some confidence in him.
yeah, Vaibhav?
So, as I mentioned in the previous game, the
Mm,
middle order was my concern, and they did the right thing by bringing in Dubey and Rinku Singh. So that's what eventually saved the match and helped us put a big total on the board. On the bowling side, yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, we had the impact player rule
mm,
coming into T20I as well. So that's just what happens with the GG era. I feel that let's not risk Mohammad Shami. We'll have Harshit Rana, Arshdeep, Dubey, Rinku, maybe Ravi Bishnoi, or given Varun Chakravarti's form, I'd put him over Ravi Bishnoi and
mm.
Akshar Patel, and the regular four that play the top four places: Samson, Tilak Verma, Abhishek Sharma, and Surya Kumar.
So it's a high scoring ground at least, because the average first inning score is 190 and the average score in Mumbai is 185. So I believe India should lose the toss so that they bat first and we get a good game on our hands. But we'll see. We'll discuss about the 50-20I in the next TBL chatter. Until then, have a good time, guys, and do like, share, and subscribe the channel, and do comment us what you would like from us on this channel. Take care. Bye bye.